Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tempe City Council regular council meeting agenda. Item number 1, call to order. Members of the public who attend the meeting physically are asked to maintain distance between other parties, and masks are optional for all attendees per City of Tempe policy. Alternatively, members of the public may attend the meeting virtually through Cisco WebEx events by visiting tempe.gov/councilmeetinginfo for more information. Council meetings can also be watched in real time via Cox Cable Channel 11 and at tempe.gov/tempe11. I'd now like to invite everyone who's able and willing to stand to join me in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next up, item number 4, meeting minutes. Tonight I will be assisted by Vice Mayor Adams. Vice Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to make a motion to approve 4A1.
Okay. It's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams to approve item 4A1. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Councilmember Hodge. Let me go over here. Please vote. And is Councilmember Keating on? No? Okay, then that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. Next up, we have item 4B, acceptance of board, commission, and committee meeting minutes. Vice Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to approve 4B 1 through 10.
Okay, it's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams. Do I have a second? Second. Seconded by Councilmember Garland. Please vote. Need to reset the board. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
And that item also passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. Next up, reports and announcements. Item number 5. I don't have any reports this evening. Mr. City Manager, any announcements?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No announcements.
Great. Thank you so much. Next up, item number 6, public appearances. According to the Arizona Open Meeting Law, the City Council may only discuss matters listed elsewhere on this agenda for discussion and legal action. The purpose of the open call to the public is to allow individuals to address the City Council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the City Council. Public appearances shall be limited to an aggregate total of 60 minutes. No person shall speak more than once, and there is a limit of 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers present at the podium must state their name and city of residence and provide a speaker card. Members of the podium shall refrain from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks and from becoming boisterous while addressing the City Council or while attending the meeting. Speakers will be taken first come, first serve in the order in which the cards are received. Speakers' visual aids and appearances by phone recordings are not allowed. Council members are prohibited by state law from taking action on, commenting, or discussing a matter raised by a member of the public, even if asked to do so by a member of the public, so long as the subject discussed by the speaker is not listed as a specific agenda item for council's consideration for discussion and legal action. At the conclusion of public appearances, the council may ask the city manager to review a matter or place a matter on a future agenda. I've got a number of speakers this evening. Let's see, I will try to take them in the order that they are on the agenda this evening, which takes me to item, actually, let's do this. A couple of these items will have to potentially be pulled by council members, so I will take those later, which are right here. So I'll take the ones that don't have to be pulled for those items. So let's go with item 8B1. That one is hold on one second here. That item is to introduce and hold the first public hearing to adopt a resolution for a general plan land use amendment, map amendment from educational to mixed use on approximately 2.0 acres, a general plan projected density map amendment from medium to high density for for approximately 6.7 acres and adopt an ordinance for a zoning map amendment from R3 TOD and R4 TOD on approximately 2.0 acres, from CSS on approximately 1.43 acres, and from CSS TOD on approximately 3.27 acres to MU Mixed Use High Density District totaling 6.7 acres for Apache Central, located on 1233 East Lemon Street, 1306 East Apache Boulevard, and 1310 East Apache Boulevard. The applicant is the city of Tempe, and no development is proposed at this time. I'm going to take these as I get them. The first card I have is from David Sokolowski. And I think he's virtual.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My name is David Sokolowski. I live in Tempe. The city needs 20,000 affordable units. That means the city needs to build a minimum of 1,000 units in the year 2023 and every year from this point forward. If Apache has 200 affordable units, Tempe will need an additional 800 units in 2023. Tempe's reputation for affordable housing was built on a handful of token examples, but Tempe isn't even keeping up with the rate of inflation. People are being priced out faster than we build, and even the smallest reforms, like ADUs, are nearly impossible in the city of Tempe. We like to say Tempe is making waves in the desert, but the city is never willing to risk rocking the boat. Tempe claims that SB 1117 is harmful to our city, but it's actually the first step to solving Tempe's housing crisis. If Tempe had inclusionary zoning, our city would need to create 200,000 units. Where would you build them? What about Hometown for All? At 25 affordable units per acre on average, it's impossible for Tempe to purchase 800 acres of land. Solving the housing crisis is mandatory, but preserving single-family neighborhoods is optional. We can get rid of single-family neighborhoods, or we can get rid of height restrictions and allow more density. If you care about preserving our neighborhoods, you would want to encourage high-rise buildings as much as possible. I understand tall buildings make people uncomfortable and change the character of a neighborhood, but so does poverty and homelessness. We can't ignore a housing crisis just because buildings make some people uncomfortable. We need real solutions that fit the scale of the problem. The housing crisis is a lot more complex than preserving the character of a neighborhood. We need to consider all of the ways the housing crisis hurts the city. It steals resources from the parks, the police, fire, transit, and more. The housing crisis will cost our city hundreds of millions of dollars, and in the future, land will be more scarce and more expensive. I picked Lemon and Dorsey when I moved to Tempe 10 years ago. I couldn't afford to live in the neighborhood anymore, and now I live on College in Alameda. I still visit the same barber at Apache Plaza, and I'm thankful that Tempe is 10 times better than Montgomery, Alabama, no matter which neighborhood I'm living in. But some people in my neighborhood say we don't need affordable housing at Denell Plaza. Anyone who can't afford to live here will have to move. I don't belong to any one neighborhood, and I wish that wasn't the case. But 70% of our population will be renters like me, and owning property in Tempe is no longer an option for most of us. Many in our city are cost burdened by rent, and I want to remind you how many times you have heard from our community about affordable housing, including the city elections, public surveys, and comments at city meetings.
Mr.
Thank you
Sokolowski?
for listening.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next speaker I have is Adrian Dennis. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes to address the council.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, my name is Adrian Dennis. I live in Tempe, Arizona. I am also coming forward to support the measure for mostly the same reasons that we just heard. I truly do believe that if we want to be a vibrant, competitive city, that we need to address the housing crisis. And by doing that, we need to build as many affordable housing units as possible. I would strongly implore the council to not let anyone or anything stop you from building as many units as possible. And I want to see this city become vibrant. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I yield my time.
Sounds good. Thank you. The next speaker I have is Wyatt Turner. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Wyatt Turner. I live in Chandler, but I'm actually moving into Tempe next week with some roommates. And my job is a software engineer, and I've been comparing rent prices in Tempe for a little bit now. And like the rent prices here are kind of hard to swallow, and that comes as a software engineer, so I'm paid pretty well. But if it's getting hard for me to swallow, that means it's very hard to swallow for most residents in Tempe. And this is just a wonderful place to be, and I think as many people who want to move here should be able to afford to move here. So I wanted to support the measure, so that's all I have to say. I yield my time.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. The next speaker I have is Nolan Williams. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Nolan Williams. My place of residence is here in Tempe. I live in Daly Park. I have heard that we want to build affordable housing on city land in this location. I think this is a phenomenal proposal. I think it is very important that we build lots and lots of affordable housing. Not only that we build a lot of affordable housing, but that we build it on and near transit whenever possible. I mean, we should be building it everywhere, but when we have it on transit, we should really, maximize it. I am hopeful and optimistic that this upzoning first, and then we'll get an RFP, and then we'll get an actual project, and we'll see some details. But I'm hoping that if this upzoning goes through, which it should, when the RFP is crafted, that it is not watered down, that it is not kind of, a simple project, that if you're gonna upzone it to 65 units per acre, I really wanna see 65 units per acre. You just think it is incalculable the amount of man years that will be spent living or not living in those units, whether or not they get built, right? Someone doesn't want to see the top of a building over their neighborhood, I understand, but if that is the difference between 60 units, 60 people or families that might spend 5, 10, 20 years living in the city affordably, comfortably, safely, securely, I just think that's so much more important than trying to take the safe option. And I think if we're going to be doing these projects, we should really, really be committing to them. And so I want to support this wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker I have is Jack Ketchum. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, thank you for your time. My name is Jack Ketchum. I live and work in Tempe, and I also wanted to support this project. I think it's a great opportunity to build some higher density right next to some transit, and will help create a more walkable and diverse community with mixed income development. So just wanted to support this project. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. The next speaker I have is Bianca Ariano on item 8B2. Oh, yes, please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Bianca Ariano, and I'm here in support of the grass clippings proposal at Rolling Hills. As a former Division I volleyball player at ASU, about a pitching wedge away from here, for some of us a 9-iron, I have spent many days and nights in the city of Tempe. I've never really gotten around to playing Rolling Hills, and I'm excited to see the potential growth and development that grass clippings has in store. As a future physician in Arizona, I look forward to the professional connections and various women's leagues I can partake in through the grass clippings community. Lastly, as a woman and a woman of color, I am hopeful that grass clippings will cater the sport to a wider and more diverse demographic of golfers. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker I have is Darlene Justice. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Darlene Justice. I live in North Tempe, neighborhood really close to grass clippings, and we have used grass clippings for a game event one year. We also have used the restaurant a lot. I am so happy for this proposal. We need lighting at the golf course so that people can actually use it in the evening, and that's going to happen. I think that's great. The restaurant's going to be redone. We need signage, folks. There's never been a sign there saying there's a restaurant. So when these folks come to you for signage, we need one, big one in front of Rolling Hills. We also need one in the median so that people coming into Tempe can also see that there's the golf course they can see, but there's a restaurant. This is a great thing for our community, and I really think they've worked very hard on it. I wholeheartedly support it, and I know a lot of people will. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next card I have is from Bobby Leteau. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Bobby Leteau. I live in Tempe, Arizona. I am president of the Thursday Morning Ladies League at Rolling Hills. We currently have 44 members playing either 9 or 18 holes. The ladies wanted me to thank the committee members that advised the city council themselves, Craig Hayton and his staff for addressing and acting on our concerns to deny the first proposal by Grass Clippings for the drastic renovation and high fees for Rolling Hills. The new proposal is more attuned to a community golf course. The proposed rates are more reasonable, and keeping the course intact except for changes to hole number 9 is acceptable to our members. This course has always been affordable but challenging for players. The fact that the proposed rate, which include cart fees for Tempe residents and league members, would be the same is appreciated, as many of our members live in Scottsdale, Mesa, etc. We feel this will attract more new members, not only to our league, but the others that exist at Rolling Hills. Who knows, maybe new leagues will start up. This would be a win-win situation for all. This is America, where startup businesses are encouraged, and grass clippings with these young men wanting to secure a financial future fits that dream. We realize golf courses are trending more towards entertaining, so this will hopefully attract people searching for this type of golf, along with the traditional golfers. We hope this contract will be a good match for all involved. Additionally, we would like them to consider retaining the existing staff, as they know most of the regular golfers. They're courteous and have been there to solve any problems that occur. Our ladies plan to be objective, but warn we will hold Grass Clippings' feet to the fire should they overstep the contract bounds. We truly want them to succeed should the city award them this contract. We want to keep our Rolling Hills the jewel of the valley. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And the last card I have here is from Anjali Swami. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Anjali Swami, and I am from Scottsdale. Dear members of the council, I stand here as the Arizona chapter lead for Hindu Action. I would like to throw some light on a very serious issue about which we Americans must be aware of. The issue is of trafficking of girls from the religious minority communities in Pakistan. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan, where theocracy holds sway over decades, has been successful in dehumanizing the presence of minority religions by coercion, intimidation, and violence. The actions of the Pakistan state, its army, and its judiciary has directly or indirectly empowered religious extremists, resulting in kidnapping, trafficking, and forced religious conversions of the economically deprived and socially fragile sections of the Pakistan society. Pakistan was created as an Islamic state in 1947, and its native Hindu, Sikh, Christian population since then has steadily declined from 23% in 1951 to near about 1.5% today. A submission to the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights by the World Sindhi Congress, was the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, UNPO, sheds more light on the forced conversions taking place that are indirectly supported by many groups. They are hindering their access to education and participation in the job market. So the process of conversion is fairly simple. I don't want to go into too many details. The girls are kidnapped, they are converted, they are given a Muslim name, and then they are married, and then they are trafficked for flesh trade. And then a team of lawyers files a petition under which the converted young woman formally seeks protection from her Hindu parents. On October 15th, 2022, President Biden also named Pakistan as the most dangerous nation of this world. After a sustained campaign by groups like ours, the British government in December 2022 sanctioned the seminary and the clerics associated with it. The point of my presentation here today is not just to highlight a tragedy that has been unfolding silently in a distant land over which only the State Department or the White House has a responsibility to act on. The point of my presentation is to create awareness in the grassroots of our nation. The average American can become the voice of these girls, and that will have a much bigger impact on the White House and those in DC. Hopefully, our voices can one day ensure that every dollar of the billions that are given in aid to Pakistan is made conditional upon the safety of its religious minorities. I welcome you to connect with me to know more about how we can help. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. I've got a couple of the cards here that I will read when the items come up, but I was going to ask, is there anyone else in the audience here wishing to address the City Council? If so, please get my attention. Okay, seeing none, I'll move to item number 7, which is the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be considered as a group and will be enacted with one motion by the City Council unless an item is removed for separate consideration. Members of the public may remove public hearing items for separate consideration. Members of the public may remove, public hearing items are designated as public hearing item at the beginning of the item title. Council members may remove any item for separate consideration or to declare a conflict of interest. If a council member would like to declare a conflict at this time, the city clerk will provide the council members with the disclosure form. If you wish to speak on a public hearing item, please fill out a speaker card and submit your completed card to the city clerk prior to the agenda item coming forward for council discussion. I will call your name when it is your turn for public comment. The consent agenda tonight is announced as miscellaneous items 7A1 through 7A3, awards of bids and contracts 7B1 through 7B13, and resolutions item 7C1 through item 7C7. Any agenda item marked as public hearing item can be removed by a member of the public for separate consideration. If anyone would like to have a public hearing item removed, please get my attention now. Okay, seeing none. Madam Clerk, were any comments received from the public wishing to address the City Council on a consent agenda public hearing item other than the 3 cards I have here?
Nothing in addition to what you have.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. Council, any other items that you'd like pulled? I was going to say I was going to pull item 7C5. And I was going to ask a really quick question, Madam City Attorney. On the non-consent agenda, I was going to have a comment on item 8A4. Do I have to pull that now, or can I just pull it at the time?
You could pull it now, Mayor.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Make it easier.
All right.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember Hodge.
Yeah, 7C5, I did. I'm the person who needs it pulled.
Okay.
And I've already signed the paper.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. All right. Council, any other items that you'd like pulled? Okay. So that means, once again, I'm going to look for a motion on items 7A1 through 7A3, 7B1 through 7B13, and items 7C1 through 7C7, with the exception of item 7C5, which has been pulled for separate consideration.
So move.
It's been moved by Councilmember Navarro and seconded by Councilmember Hodge. Please vote. And that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. That brings us to item 7C5, which is to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the Tempe Union High School District Number 213, Fulfillment and Training, and the City of Tempe to implement Fulfillment and Training's Community Integration and Transformation Program into the City of Tempe with a commitment of support from the Tempe Police Department. I've got a couple of cards here in the audience, then I'm going to go to Councilmember Hodge. I've got first Abby Michael. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Do you need me to go first, or does she go?
I'll let her go first. And
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Abby Michael. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and am the Chief of Staff for Fulfillment and Training, which most of you know as FIT. We are an organization dedicated to supporting community development and social justice by bridging relationships between community members and government officials, especially law enforcement, in a space that encourages health and wellness. We believe that strong communities are fostered in environments where people are able to build genuine connections on neutral ground in an encouraging environment. First, I would like to recognize the many successful collaborations we've had with the City of Tempe over the years, including hosting and staffing events with Tempe Parks, the Tempe Union High School District, Tempe PD, and Fire, such as Tempe Play Day, the ACAC Combine, Bigger Than Football, and many others. We are also currently supporting the Parks and Recreations Initiative to activate neighborhood engagement by facilitating community workouts every Monday evening at North Tempe Multi-Generational Center, and are about to begin a fire recruitment program to promote career opportunities in public safety. The Community Integration and Transformation Program is designed to build relationships between people who may not have the opportunity to interact in their typical day-to-day lives. It provides an environment for people of all backgrounds, experiences, and physical abilities to invest in their mental and physical health while fostering a connection to their neighbors, teachers, and classmates. We look forward to continuing the work we do to support the City of Tempe and know that this grant will give us the opportunity to make a greater impact and further grow our relationships in Tempe and with the Tempe community in pursuit of youth empowerment through health and wellness. Thank you again for allowing us to bring our tried and trusted system to Tempe Union High Schools. We are excited for what the future holds for this partnership between FIT, the Tempe Police Department, and Tempe Union High School District. Thank you.
sounds good. Thank you so much. The last card I had for this item is from Stephen Baines. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Stephen Baines, and I'm from Phoenix. First, good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Stephen. I'm the founder of Fulfillment and Training, and our Community Integration and Transformation Program will be a partnership, like we spoke about, between Tempe High School District, Tempe Fire, and Tempe Police as well. We will build long-lasting, organic, healthy relationships between government and the communities that they serve. Our program is based off of my experiential development cycle, which impacts bias and fears, and we understand that our behaviors are attached to our beliefs. So if we want to fight for our limitations, we get to keep them, but through the traditional implicit bias training, we realize that that doesn't work. So through our Leading with Love transformational process, we use as a part of our Community Integrated and Transformation Program, we will bring about true change. We use a 5-step approach, and through that, we have our initial interactions, which connects the relationships. We go through a supportive discomfort, and that's everyone learning to build and connect with each other. And through that connection, we communicate a goal and purpose. We go through a healthy or a healing activity, and then we have focused dialogue at the end of every athletic experience. And through this, we create these long-lasting relationships, and these relationships are bonds that will grow and continue to grow. And also, we work to focus on addressing health equity, so at every community health experience, we will have our community partner with us to create more access to health and wellness. So individuals can come to any interaction that we have that will be at the Tempe High Schools and get connected to a counselor, engage in medical and other needs which directly relate to health equity. So, and through this, we will have that at every exercise and every athletic event. Our goal is to make sure we forge long-lasting bonds and relationships that will transform our communities to what we need in society today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Councilmember Hodge.
Thank you. I just want to explain why I'm abstaining from my vote. Due to the fact that I sit on Tempe Union High School Governing Board, I just see that that could be consumed as a conflict of interest. But I also want to let everyone know that I'm fully in support and excited for this adventure. But due to my other role, I am abstaining from this vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hodge. Councilmember DeVore.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just want to first thank you to the presentation and to the people that came up and spoke about this program. It is tremendous. I mean, you're talking about getting to the kids, working with individuals, getting them on a better trajectory, but also working with PD and fire, and having that relationship is extremely important. And I think that builds a trust within our community. I think it's a great program, but it also brings an opportunity potentially even to have more firefighters or more police officers within that area. And what a great way to build that community organically and really have that real, as we say, that social awareness, that whole package of what we want out of our police officers, what we want out of our firefighters. And I think this is just tremendous. I'm so excited that our city is part of that. So thank you all.
Sounds good. Thank you, Councilmember DeVore. Anyone else? Council? Yes, Councilmember Hodge.
I just have one more thing to say. It also is building the relationship with our students, with the police and fire, and especially a lot of the athletes that are involved in it are minority students that have this scenario that they sometimes don't understand the relationship between police and the community. And this is really helping build it. And I just thank FIT so much for bringing it in. And these kids are very excited. So thank you for the city of Tempe for bringing it. So.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Council, any further comments or questions? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion on item 7C5?
So moved.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams, seconded by Councilmember Garland. Please vote. And that item passes, Councilmember. All right. And that item passes 5-0 with Councilmember Hodge abstaining and Councilmember Keating absent. All right. That brings us to item number 8, which is the non-consent agenda. All items listed on the non-consent agenda will be considered separately. Agenda items scheduled for introduction and first public hearing will be heard but will not be voted upon at this meeting. Agenda items scheduled for second public hearing and final adoption will be voted upon tonight. Council members who may have a conflict of interest may abstain from voting on a matter, and the city clerk will provide the council members with the disclosure form. First section is miscellaneous items, bids, contracts, and resolutions. The first item under the section is 8A1, which is to approve the utilization of one-year Omnia Partners cooperative contracts with CDW Government LLC and SHI International Corporation for the purchase of software licensing, technology products, support, and services. Council, any comments or discussion? Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember DeVore. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Hodge. Please vote. And that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. The next item under the section is 8A2, which is to approve the utilization of one-year Omnia Partners cooperative contract with Graybar Electric Company Incorporated for the purchase of electrical parts, components, and services. Council, any comments or discussion? Moved by Councilmember DeVore and seconded again by Councilmember Hodge. Please vote.
No, it was me.
It was you?
Yeah.
Oh, Vice Mayor Adams. All right. And that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. All right. I'm just hearing voices over here. So the next item under the section is, I know, I need help over here. The next item under the section is 8A3, which is to approve the utilization of one-year State of Arizona cooperative contracts with Courtesy Auto of Mesa, Courtesy Chevrolet, Sanderson Ford, EMV Automotive, Larry Miller Toyota, Midway Chevrolet, O'Reilly Chevrolet, PFVT Motors, DBA Peoria Ford, Santana Auto Partners LLC, Ford and Sand Chevrolet for the purchase of 68 vehicles. Council, any comments or discussion? It's been moved by Councilmember Navarro. Seconded by Councilmember Chin. Please vote. And that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. Next up is item 8A4. I'm going to pull this one just to make sure I can get one card in, but I'm going to read it first, which is to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Tempe, the City of Scottsdale, and the Flood Control District of Maricopa County for the rights-of-way acquisitions, design, utility relocations, construction management, and operation and maintenance of the Roosevelt Street Storm Drain Project. I'm going to see if I can call up Darlene Justice, who had a card here. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I should have done that earlier. I want to thank you very much for this, that it's finally happening. We have had a stormwater problem in North Tempe for many, many years. We have some people on Fillmore that have been flooded multiple times, 6 different homes. Concord Village has had a stormwater problem also. And we have, even going into the county island, which is across Scottsdale Road, this stormwater drain is going to help so many things. It's also going to help Tempe residents, Scottsdale residents who have had this flood water. It's amazing, many people don't realize that we get flood water out of Papago Park behind the Botanical Gardens. It goes under the canal, down an alley, behind the school, behind Supai Tonalea School now. Then it turns and it goes down College. And after College, then it turns again, it goes down Fillmore. It has been really bad for this community. But also there is other stormwater. We are lower than Scottsdale. So we get stormwater from Scottsdale, both east and west of Scottsdale Road. This is a huge, huge thing that's going in, and it's going to take care of a lot. So I want to thank you. It's been a very difficult thing. It's a very costly thing. I think negotiating with Scottsdale was probably one of the big hurdles in getting it to where it finally is. I'm not afraid to say that because I know that's true. And but I'm very happy, I'm very proud that the staff have worked hard. Greg Kent has been persevered for a lot of years. And I'm going to have so much fun sending things out that we finally have an IGA. And I'll be looking forward to a schedule after that. Thank you so very much. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Justice. Really appreciate it. Let's see, I've got Councilmember Chin, then Vice Mayor Adams, and Councilmember Garland.
Thank you, Mayor. I will just take a moment to echo what Ms. Justice said. I learned about this issue just over a year ago, and it has adversely affected several Tempe residents and damaged their homes, and they've been putting up with it for 13 years. So it is, I'm very happy to see it on the agenda, and I know that it is complex to work between 2 municipalities, 2 municipal budgets, and the county to get this done. And I would like to thank staff that worked on this in Tempe. So thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Vice Mayor Adams.
Yes, I've only known about it for 5 years, so I have you on that, Arlene. Anyway, I just want to thank Darlene Justice for her leadership on this. She's been totally persistent the whole 5 years that we've been working on it. So I'm super happy to have it finally behind us or getting in that direction. So thank you, Darlene, for all your help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Garland.
When I was running for office in 2019, I met Darlene, and she introduced me to one of her neighbors who showed me a picture of sandbags in front of her house and said how many years those sandbags had to be there. And I just thought that was such a crazy thing in the city of Tempe that we have neighbors that are putting sandbags in front of their house to keep the water out of there. So I'm so excited about this coming through, and Darlene, thank you for making sure that you were persistent to making sure that it was on the tops of our minds all the time. But I know that our staff, and in discussing this with staff when I first was elected, was that we were waiting for Scottsdale, and that it has always been at the top of the minds of our staff members. So I just want to say thank you so much, staff, for being diligent about getting this and moving this forward. This is going to be a really good thing for our community. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other comments from council on this item?
So move.
Okay, been moved by Councilmember Hodge,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilmember Chin. All right, please vote. And that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. The next item under the section is 8A5, which is to adopt a resolution authorizing a maximum dollar amount for an individual job order of up to $2,700,000 for the purpose of procuring construction services for HVAC improvements, City Hall East Garden level. Council, any comments or discussion? It's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilmember Garland. Please vote. And that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. The last item under the section is 8A6, which is to award job order number 34 to Foresight Design and Construction Incorporated for the HVAC Improvement City Hall Campus East Garden Project located at 31 East 5th Street. Council, any comments or discussion? It's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams, seconded by Councilmember Navarro. Please vote. And that item also passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. The next section on the non-consent agenda is ordinances and items for introduction and first hearing. These items will be read and introduced tonight, but no votes will be taken. The second hearing and vote for these items is scheduled for March 2nd, 2023. First item under the section is 8B1, which is to introduce and hold the first public hearing to adopt a resolution for a general plan projected land use map amendment from educational to mixed use on approximately 2.0 acres, a general plan projected density map amendment from medium to high density to approximately 6.7 acres, an adopted ordinance for a zoning map amendment from R3 TOD and R4 TOD on approximately 2.0 acres, from CSS on approximately 1.43 acres, and from CSS TOD on approximately 3.27 acres, to MU Mixed Use High Density District totaling 6.7 acres for Apache Central, located on 1233 East Lemon Street, 1306 East Apache Boulevard, and 1310 East Apache Boulevard. The applicant is City of Tempe. No development is proposed at this time. Let's see, is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on this item that hasn't already spoken? All right. Seeing none, just, my very quick comment on this. I mean, obviously, we're not taking any kind of a formal vote this evening, but very excited to see this come to fruition. And I just want to give a huge shout out to our staff on this item. When we first learned that this site was going to be available, it's the former Food City site over on Apache and Dorsey and some other adjacent parcels. We really hadn't done a lot of stuff like this before, which is go out and spend a pretty substantial amount of money to acquire a physical site. And the reason why it was done was because the council knew that pretty much because of the scarcity of land in the city of Tempe, most everything that goes up for sale on the commercial rolls very quickly gets acquired to become market rate or luxury housing, which many times then becomes unaffordable to the other people who are living in that neighborhood or who have historically lived in that neighborhood. The other concern was when the Food City actually left that site, was that was pretty much the only grocery store on the entire Apache Boulevard corridor. There are other restaurants and other types of retail and food and beverage on that strip, but no grocery store where you could obtain fresh produce and other sort of household staples. And so the council sort of set about, along with staff, to acquire this parcel for the purpose of trying to bring back affordable housing and possibly other kind of mixed income housing along with an affordable grocery store so that neighborhood would actually have a place to go shopping. So really excited. The council spent about $10.7 million on this site because it really was a critical need that the council saw at that time to ensure that we were able to acquire this property and turn it into something that truly would benefit the community and make sure that we could add much needed affordable housing units to our inventory. So very much excited for this proposal. And I will say that with staff, our staff worked so hard on this that frankly, from the time that this first became something that was known to us, they closed on the property in 3 months. And so many times people make jokes about, government sometimes moving slowly, but I'm going to tell you that is not the case. The fact of the matter is the staff here, economic development, community development, they moved very quickly and acquired this property before it actually went out on the open market. And since then, we've acquired other properties that are also going to be used to create more affordable housing stock that we desperately need in this city. So I wanted to thank our staff for all their hard work on that, and thank the council as well for all of the support along the way in doing something that previously we hadn't really done much of in the city. Once again, the vote's not going to take place this evening, but I still wanted to make sure to make those comments. So I'm really excited about this coming forward and the ability to maximize the housing on that site, because we recognize the more housing we're actually able to fit on that site, the more dent we can actually put in the affordable housing needs that we have in the city. Councilmember Navarro?
Mayor, thank you. And you said it so well. And I'll also say that this city has really, for years, have tried to find out and figure out ways to make affordability within our community. We've heard from our residents. We understand the dynamic of working with developers on their property, trying to accommodate our residents and getting the right development. But at the end of the day, we knew that the only way we're going to do it is if the city could do it. We have to buy our own property. We can do this in perpetuity of that property and not have to really rely upon the market or saying it's going to be affordable, and then 2 years later a development goes market rate, so to speak. So I think this is a great win for us, but this does not happen. This does not happen unless we have the development that we have today, the development that's on the lake, the development that's gone around this downtown area. Those developers have contributed hundreds, millions of dollars to this fund, and we're still getting more money from developers doing the right development in the right areas. But at the same time, we're making sure that we're trying to find, as a city, the right locations, just as we said, streetcar, light rail, whatever it may be, the right locations to accommodate the residents that are the backbone of this community, the people that work, with pay that is not so-called a great absorbent amount of income. But we do support them because they are the people that help us out in so many ways. So I think this is a tribute to what we do as a community. It's a tribute to what the city has done. And I have to say, Mayor, and I think we could say it all, we're leading the way in the valley on affordability. We are. And I want other communities to get along with it, get on board with this, and I think they are. They're really looking at us and what we're doing. So it's really a tribute to Mayor, you and us council members to making sure that this affordability plan stays in perpetuity, that every development we do, we make sure we give back to our community in various ways. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Navarro? And I just, one other really quick thing to piggyback off of that statement as well. I really think the excitement about these is the ability to create true long-term or possibly even permanent affordability on these sites. Sometimes the challenge is people will say, well, you should negotiate with this other developer who might actually set aside a certain number of units that's a much smaller amount of units, and then 10, 15 years later, as Councilmember Navarro talked about, they just end up becoming market rate units that are no longer affordable for people in this community. The beauty about actually owning your own property and being able to chart your own course is you really can create true long-term or possibly even permanent affordability, so it will stay permanent, affordable in perpetuity, and that it won't just simply turn into something that becomes unaffordable after 10 or 15 years, which would frankly defeat the purpose of making such a sizable financial investment in these parcels. So once again, I wanted to thank you for pointing that out. Anyone else, any other comments or questions on this item? Okay, then I will close the public hearing, and I will reiterate that the second and final public hearing on this item is scheduled for March 2nd, 2023. The last item under this section is 8B2, which is to introduce and hold the first public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement and development and disposition agreement with GC Rolling Hills, LLC, an Arizona limited liability company for Rolling Hills Golf Course, otherwise known as Grass Clippings. Is there a presentation by the Grass Clipping folks? You can give one. You don't have to give one, whatever you like. Well, it's first hearing. You're right. That's correct. Thank you.
Mayor Woods, Vice Mayor Adams, council members, hello, good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present to you this evening. And thank you to the staff all of the folks, stakeholders that make the city of Tempe a great place to do business in, be an entrepreneur in, and make waves in the desert. On behalf of the grass clippings team, we truly are honored for the opportunity presented here tonight. The grass clippings at Rolling Hills proposal has come a long way. It's been a little bit over a year since the original proposal went in, and we began to go get feedback. And so this presentation is meant to cover all of those stops and ultimately explain in detail where we are today and why we're very excited about where it's come from and where it is now. Modernizing golf is the MO of grass clippings. Our mission is to modernize golf by leading the industry in efforts to highlight the fun aspects of the game. Our model promotes greater accessibility and greater community participation and awareness of golf as a lifetime sport available to a diverse customer audience. In July of 2021, the city of Tempe released an RFP with the objective to enter into a public-private partnership that, four things: ensures the long-term viability of public golf, addresses capital improvement needs, provides revenue to the city, and expands golf and recreational amenities to a wide and diverse audience. The fifth thing that has been really the theme of everything we've done is ensuring community-based golf. And that notion of that fifth piece sort of speaks to all four of those pillars. Expanding golf and recreational amenities, and I'll share in the next slide, and evident from the survey results is adding night golf. Everyone is very, very excited about that possibility, and it expands the available tee times at Rolling Hills almost by 50%. Folks that maybe work during the daytime hours, whether it's hot out or you want to bundle up in the wintertime when the sun goes down a little bit earlier, it really provides an additional opportunity for people to play golf. The improved and fully lighted proposed practice facility on the existing footprint is something that we're very excited about. It's supported by the Arizona Golf Association. It's supported by the Junior Golf Association of Arizona and the USGA. We're making a major capital investment into doing things like turfing the hitting areas, getting new golf balls, and most importantly, they're putting in the programming necessary to expand the game of golf, make people who maybe have never played golf, give them a comfortable place to go hit some golf balls for the first time before taking action on the golf course. Currently, there's no programming out there. There's no junior programming out there. And based on our talks with Tempe high school golf coaches, both the boys and girls coaches, that's evident. They say 1 in every 5 years, roughly, they get a golfer on the team that has played golf before. And so that is something that we're very, very excited about. It's an integral piece to our proposal, and we look forward to that future and changing that reality. The family event and activity lawn.
Vice Mayor Adams, yes?
I just want to ask a question. What are you thinking about as far as the junior golf program, which I'm completely in favor of? Like, what would that look like? If you could explain that a little bit to the residents.
Mayor Woods, Vice Mayor Adams, thank you very much for the question. First and foremost, it goes to getting the support of the Arizona Golf Association and the Junior Golf Association of Arizona. They have outlined programming needs that they would need to essentially run their programming at the Rolling Hills Golf Course. It's something as easy as 10 stalls at the driving range on a daily basis, checks that box and makes the Rolling Hills driving range a viable place for them to run programming. There's also not a first tee chapter in the city of Tempe, so we have ambitions to land the first tee chapter in the city of Tempe, and that's the PGA Tour sponsored programming for juniors. And as well, the grass clippings proposal comes with a teacher and programming and an on-site pro that you can go get a golf lesson. Currently, if you call the Rolling Hills facility, there is no junior programming, and they'll send you to Ken McDonald. And that's just a couple miles down the street from, like we mentioned, Tempe High School Golf. And so just incorporating junior programs, getting kids out there to go out there and enjoy the driving range, and then obviously that can maybe attract the parents to go enjoy the restaurant while that's happening. It's a win-win for the business model set forth. Ensuring the long-term viability of public golf, the capital improvements to the restaurant and the pro shop, great food and comfortable seating. We want this to be a place where when you're thinking about where to go to dinner, where to go to lunch, breakfast, the Rolling Hills Golf Club and restaurant is on that list. We want to get into the top 5 of a place to go enjoy a meal, enjoy an outing, whether it's with your family, corporate outing, friends, all the above. So not just looking at this as a place to go play golf and have a snack, but maybe someone who never plays golf, has no interest in playing golf. We want the Rolling Hills Golf Course to be a place for them as well. And then improved golf course conditions, also a hot topic off of the survey. This is very important to the playability of golf, keeping golfers intrigued, and that is something that we're very, very excited about. We have some awesome pending hires and would be bringing that entire maintenance department, making a major investment into the maintenance facilities as well, and purchasing new equipment to accommodate all of those improvements and maintaining golf course conditions. And again, more on that, a $13 million proposed investment entirely funded by grass clippings, and that is going toward on-course improvements, the driving range, the clubhouse, and maintenance facilities. The public involvement plan was set out for a month long. In reality, our experience was really meeting with stakeholders across the last year and a half. And these are not all of the points that we hit, they're not all of the meetings that we had, and some of them were on multiple occasions. But we plan to not just meet with them once and take their feedback, but also be an integral part of the community. The Desert Conservation Commission, Parks and Recreation, Golf, and W Butte Cemetery Advisory Board. We were there last evening. We received, after I believe 6 visits, a unanimous vote in favor of the proposal. And that was after many times proposing and talking about the improvements in the programming and our operation that we have proposed, and coming back with questions and solutions to concerns. And we ultimately were very, very excited to walk out of there with a frictionless conversation and excitement for the future. The Veterans Commission, we have incorporated a veterans discount, and they have their own programming tournaments that we're very excited about. The Commission on Disability Concerns has been an integral part of this. We've met with them twice. We have a proposed Jumbotron viewing screen out there. So they've been great and integral in thinking about things like having subtitles on that screen, making it ADA compliant throughout the entire property, and hopefully bringing back the Special Olympics to the Rolling Hills Golf Course, which would be really awesome. Sustainability and resilience, obviously, we are trying to be as sustainable as possible. Our original proposal had some remarks toward water conservation. That's going to continue to be top of mind. City of Tempe stakeholders, the North Tempe neighborhood stakeholders, we've been, Ms. Justice gave her letter of support, or address of support, so she's been an integral part of things like a community room and putting that and incorporating it into the clubhouse. So we're very, very excited. There's a ton of groups we've met with that plan on using that on a regular basis. The Tempe High School golf team will continue to call Rolling Hills home. They'll enjoy free golf, and it will be their headquarters to change that reality of let's go win a state championship mentality. Tempe Tourism hasn't marketed golf in 10 years, they had mentioned. They wrote a letter of support. We are members of the Tempe Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to Bobby, the Women's Golf League, for their support. That was also, many, many touch points going out and playing golf with them and understanding what it takes to grow their league. The Rolling Hills Men's Club, I have a letter of support from them right here. If I may, I would like to read it just to have it on the record. From Bob Blewett, the president of the Rolling Hills Men's Club Board. As representatives and board members of the Rolling Hills Men's Club, we are endorsing Grass Clipping's proposal to renovate and manage the Rolling Hills Golf Course. Combining course management and maintenance under one organization is key to improving the playability and aesthetics of the Rolling Hills Golf Course. The proposed improvements to the golf course and restaurant will significantly improve our ability to attract and retain new members. We look forward to working with Grass Clippings in their new endeavor. Regards, the Rolling Hills Men's Club Board. That was a huge accomplishment for us, and sort of the same process of playing golf, having coffee before and after, and talking about what it would take to get to a point where we can grow those leagues. Here are the main highlights from the public survey results. Most support was for the improved golf course conditions. The lighted golf course and practice facility, as mentioned, everyone is very, very excited for. A renovated clubhouse and pro shop. New food and beverage stop between holes 7 and 8. For those that aren't familiar, there is a high point of the property. It is behind the 7th hole, and you really do get a 360-degree panoramic view. Our proposal activates that space and creates a food and beverage option for golfers and non-golfers. We'll be providing a safe way to make your way up there and go enjoy a sunset, watch the planes come and go, and it's pretty awesome up there. The least support was for, in our original proposal, there was an additional hole. There were 19 holes. We had proposed reducing the golf footprint, and we are very excited to have addressed that and addressing the additional hole. It's the same footprint. The course in general, with the exception of the 9th hole, remains the same. There's a slight shift in the 9th hole to allow for the activity lawn, but the whole length remains the same. And then there were proposed higher golf rates with percentage discounts against the market rates. So that's something that I'll also address when we go to the rate sheet, but we're very, very excited of where we've made progress there. Here is the site plan. There is some proposed additional parking for the increase in use. Obviously, we are looking at this as 93 acres in Papago Park and activating it as a place for everyone to come and enjoy. Currently, roughly estimated 78,000 people go to Rolling Hills on an annual basis, much less from neighboring the zoo, which is 1.4 million, the Botanical Gardens, which is just under 400,000. So we look to increase the total annual attendance by almost triple here at Rolling Hills, and so there is some additional parking, a lighted practice facility, and lighted golf course throughout, and then an expansion of the overall footprint of the clubhouse, food and beverage, family activity lawn area. Here are some conceptual elevations of the north and east sides of the building. So we're very, very excited to make a major investment into improving the actual structural integrity of the building, making it an indoor-outdoor place where you can go enjoy at any time of year, any time of day. This is an activated restaurant and food and beverage operation that we're very, very excited about. There's an additional food and beverage stop just outside of the clubhouse that you can see on that bottom east elevation. And we're very excited about that. It can sort of service the activity lawn, it can service events, and it can service the golf without having to go into the existing clubhouse. And then here's the Mill Avenue elevation and the west elevation. So just overall improving the grounds and making a major investment into the area. The rate chart, we are very excited to solidify this top piece here, starting with the Tempe residents and ensuring community-based golf, which is obviously very, very important. Every stop of the way, this has been a major topic and something that is taken very seriously when it comes to ensuring that the leagues and juniors and everyone can grow within the game of golf. So within the lease, we are committing to a $35 peak rate. And like Bobby had mentioned, that includes a cart. So that is very, very competitive pricing as it relates to the 220 some odd golf courses in the valley. And so we're very, very excited about that. That $35 rate may increase on an annual basis, similar to CPI and how the rent rate increases And so in 10 years, roughly, it'll be around $41. Incremental increases, guaranteed low rates when it comes to golf in the valley. Those rates are the peak rates for the peak season, which is September 1st to May 31st. And then on the off season in the summertime, $20 rates during June 1st through August 31st. And that is the same scenario with the increases, the minimal increases on an annual basis for Tempe residents. That also goes for the men's and women's Rolling Hills Golf Associations. That has the same discount rate as the Tempe residents above. Those are the major associations that we anticipate, as evidenced in the letters, to grow and have that opportunity to grow. Juniors are a 75% summer and 50% winter rate, and the continuation of the juniors play free with a paying adult on Sunday. Something that we're very excited about is marketing a good day of Sunday golf. The Tempe High School golf team, like we said, we're looking for a state championship. We want them there. It's free golf for those golfers, and that's something that we're very excited about, and a 50% veteran rate.
Yes, Vice Mayor Adams?
Are you going to also reach out to the grade schools so we can get the kids started a lot earlier than high school? Because I'm thinking of championship.
Yeah.
So we need to start earlier than
Mayor
high
Woods,
school.
Vice Mayor Adams, absolutely. We look to continue this public involvement and hearing the Parks and Rec and pointing us in the right direction to activate junior golf here. So we would be very, very interested. And like you mentioned, starting them early. We want folks to go to high school and be coming from a pool of golfers that have experience. So that is something we're definitely very interested in.
Good, that's great, thank you.
I just have one question. One thing is, you talk to me later about the schools. Second off is, Tempe High School's one, but McClintock is right down the way. Have you reached out to McClintock High School also? Because that's right, like it's about a mile away from Tempe High.
Mayor Woods, Councilmember Hodge, thank you. We will certainly reach out to McClintock. I believe that we have had conversations with them and kept them apprised of the proposal. But as of now, they're obviously not on here, but that's something that we can change. Yeah. I think from our understanding that McClintock was maybe not playing out of Rolling Hills at the current moment, and
That might be a good connect. It wasn't there before, so we can definitely connect that.
there we go.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Sounds good. Councilmember Navarro?
Mayor, I just want to add, because Councilmember Adams, D1 golfer herself,
Yeah.
I know she's grilling you on this thing because she's got all the goods, but I think I loved what she said. I would challenge you guys in 5, I'm going to give you 6, put it together a state championship. I know you guys can't do it, but the assistance of the possibility of a Tempe High having either playoff ambitions or something, but having this connection. I love what's been said here, starting them young or whatever it may be, but I love to see that. That'd be a story. It truly would be a story if you guys had some influence with that. So I'll leave it at that.
Councilmember Navarro, totally agree. I mean, we have state champions on our team, on the grass clippings team, and it's something that hits home with us. When we heard that story from the Tempe High School golf team, it was hard to hear, honestly. And as golfers, from the ground up for us, we're very motivated to do that, and it would be a story.
Excellent.
The grass clippings development team and partners is a very diverse team, very entrepreneurial, but also has a world of experience totaling 75 years, 10 plus golf courses, 15 plus restaurants. And so this really is an awesome and very nimble team that really can modernize golf and make waves in the desert. And I know I speak on behalf of the entire grass clippings team here tonight. We're all in. We're young in our careers and look to make this a very, very special place. Some of our supporters, like I had mentioned, are the Arizona Golf Association, the Arizona Golf Foundation, the USGA, the JGAA, Rolling Hills Men's Club, and Tempe Tourism. It doesn't stop there, but those are some important stops that we recognized along the way and wanted to share that.
Vice Mayor Adams?
Yes, I believe the Tempe Women's Golf Association Club can now be added to that. It sounded like they were supportive of it, right? Yes, right,
Mayor
okay,
Woods,
okay,
Vice
good.
Mayor
I just
Adams.
wanted to point it out, just that it was men's and women's.
Yes.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Thank you. That sums up the presentation for me, and we're happy to answer questions.
Okay, let me go to Vice Mayor Adams and Councilmember Garland.
Okay, first of all, I want to congratulate you on going through a very inclusive process in Tempe. That's how we like to do things and get everyone's feedback. And I think you got a lot of feedback, but you took it, to heart, and you made the changes that the residents want. And so I really want to, compliment you on that. That means a lot to us. And just a couple of questions that I received from a resident that I want to ask you. To protect the city, will the audit of the books be done monthly?
Mayor Woods, Vice Mayor Adams. I believe so. That's
Okay.
something that I can report back to. But yes, that would be our intention with a public-private partnership, is to be fully open with the city of Tempe.
Okay, good. And let's see, number 4. So we gave you that. And number 5, how long will it be closed, the course, like for the improvements? Because that was brought up also. I don't know, so I'm just asking.
Yeah, unlike the previous proposal, our plan is to not close the course at all.
Okay.
At ever in its full capacity. There will be times where while the restaurant is being renovated or the pro shop is being renovated, there might be things like bringing in a food truck to accommodate the F&B, or closing down the driving range while the course remains open. And then if there's renovations to the course, keeping the driving range open or keeping 17 holes open.
Okay.
So at no point will the operation be fully shut down with no golf available.
Okay, and how soon would this start, the improvements?
From our understanding, and pending permits and approvals and the full green light, the move-in would be July 1st.
Okay.
And our intention would be to be ready to go on July 1st to begin making the improvements.
Well, I played golf out there on Monday, and I was thinking about you because I know that you're going to do a lot of improvements to the course, and I missed a couple fairways, and I was really wishing I hadn't. So it'll be nice to have a little bit more forgiving and being able to hit off of grass and not dirt and rocks.
Yes.
So I'm super happy about that. And then I know the zoo, I've talked to the zoo myself, impacts on the lighting of animals at night. Where are we with that?
Yeah, so the zoo had supported the previous proposal, and that was contemplating their golf balls going into the zoo. And then since then, we've re-engaged with them as far as the new proposal goes. We are working with a lighting company called Musco Lighting, and they can guarantee with a 50-foot buffer zone from our lighting perimeter to the zoo's property, a 0% light pollution yield. So where we're at is working with Musco and the zoo to communicate that first of all, and then before anything happens, make sure that the zoo is comfortable with that and it's proven that there actually is zero light pollution. There is also topics of things like noise, and then also the golf balls, which has been a huge problem for them. They said they get roughly 50 balls a week in the zoo. And so there might be a contemplation at some point for nets. Or
Bigger nets, yes.
Yeah, bigger nets or some sort of barrier that can prevent that. And so it's sort of an ongoing process. Our priority would be to first not touch the footprint of the golf course and solve it with things like a hedge or a land formation on the edge or big nets. And so we'll work with them actively and be sure to keep everyone apprised of the progress.
Okay, and I love night golf. A lot of people haven't done it, but it's super fun, and it really will increase the revenues on the golf course because it gives you so much more time to play golf and get more rounds in. So that's super exciting, and I'm really happy that you were able to lower the costs from the original proposal, and that makes it a lot easier. And I'm just I'm glad you guys have persevered. And I'll be supporting this project going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mayor Woods, Vice Mayor Adams, Trevor Barger. Just to share, one of the terms that came up was audited books. We will not have a full-time auditor on staff auditing every month. The books will be open and audited as required in the lease agreement.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Councilmember Garland.
Hi, I was just going to say, I was at one of your first public meetings at the Tempe History Museum, and I remember sitting in the back of the room feeling really uncomfortable for you and your partners with the questions that were being drilled at you. And I have to say that I really appreciate that through this whole entire process that you guys have been listening to the residents and to the golfers, because I am not a golfer, but listening to the residents and the golfers about things that they'd like to see improved, but not as far as this plan looked at the very beginning. So I have to say that you've come into the city, you've stayed diligent with it, and I appreciate that, and I wish that other businesses and people that want to come into the city would look at what you guys have done and see that there is success in staying with it and really having open dialogue and being really transparent with what you're doing. So I really, really appreciate that. I have to say, again, I'm not a golfer, but I'm really looking forward to going and visiting the restaurant and bringing as many people over there as I can to see the restaurant. I've met, again, Darlene Justice there one time when I was running for office, and it's going to be nice that there's going to be a change. So thank you so much for everything you're doing. Trying to find a really nice way to say it. But thank you so much for what you're going to be doing. Really appreciate it.
Mayor Woods, Councilmember Garland, thank you very much. And I would say, as golfers, it's been easy to do. It's been time consuming, but that's what we're here for. We see the long-term vision of the Rolling Hills Golf Course in a very positive way, and hopefully that this has been a demonstration of our partnership going forward. We're here for it.
That's good. Thank you. Councilmember Chin.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your presentation. I want to echo parts of what my colleagues have shared. I have watched you through the process, your entire team, and I really, really appreciate you listening to the feedback of our residents and our local golfers and taking their feedback to heart and incorporating changes so that we can advance the partnership. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mayor Woods, Councilmember Chin, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Navarro.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I want to obviously thank you and your team. Outstanding job. You guys have really did your homework. The presentation was outstanding. You hit all the details. You told me the story. You told me details about the story that I wanted to ask questions about, but you hit it. I think you listened to our residents, obviously. You guys were nimble. You made adjustments on the fly, and you made adjustments in a true benefit for this community. Even with the first go around, I was still, hey, this is different, this is neat, this is cool. I like what you guys are thinking and how you're thinking. You just made it better. The clubhouse, obviously, those are going to be two big hits. The one out in the boonies, so to speak, and the one down low. I think those are the tremendous views. We're just up at or some of us were at the Omni Hotel, and when you look down Mill Avenue, you can't help but see Rolling Hills and the Papagos, and the view is outstanding. And they're talking about NBA teams coming in here and probably staying at the Omni Hotel and other, big guests. But my God, what a view of that whole area, and you guys are part of that view. An opportunity to really capture, the visitors that are coming in and the hotels that are being built here. I think it's a total home run for us, for you guys. It's a great partnership. I like what you guys do. You guys have been involved with us. You've been involved in the community, and I want a state championship in 5 years.
Thank you, Councilmember Navarro. Councilmember Hodge.
Okay, thank you so much. I was with Councilmember Garland when we came in together in that meeting, and I will echo everything she said, that how you took it with such grace and you know, just how you handled it and how the community came and they asked and you came back, even though the first one didn't go through, you came back strong the second time, and that shows a lot in integrity and how you listened and thought about what the city needs. Thank you so much for your partnership. I know all my colleagues are excited about it, but it'll be something for me because I will get to put that on my plaque on my wall as a governing board member, and I can't wait to have that on there. So thank you so much, and for thinking about actually expanding it out to my other schools in my city too. So thank you so much for that. And for me, I have never even picked up a golf club. And now you have made me interested enough to even think about picking up a golf club and trying to do it. So thank you on that. So maybe one day you might have me out there as a person that you can teach how to do it at this time. So there you go. Thank you. So thank you so much.
Mayor Wood, Councilmember Hodge, thank you very much.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Adams?
Just one final thought. It's all good. I just, you've got great staff out there right now, and like Tammy, you know, Tammy's the bomb. I mean, she knows like everyone by name, and she's so revered there. I would just, you know, encourage you to keep a lot of the current staff, because that will also help with the transition too, because if Tammy's not there, people are gonna get upset, I think. So just try to prevent
Thank
something.
you very much, Vice
from
Mayor.
that. Yeah, she's great. And she'll be helpful for you guys too.
Awesome.
All right, thank
We
you.
agree.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick comments too. Just wanted to, like everyone else talked about, thank you to the Grass Clippings team for sort of staying with it. We know this was a challenging process kind of along the way, but we really appreciate you hanging in there and listening to the concerns of our residents and mini golfers in the community, that you came back with the proposal that obviously garnered a lot of support from people who initially had a lot of concerns. So I just want to appreciate you continuing to stick with it. Of course, too, I talked to you in some of our meetings that I, like Councilmember Hodge, am not a golfer myself. My brother is an avid golfer, but fortunately, Trevor knows me so well that he dropped restaurant in our conversation because he obviously was speaking my language. He knows me very, very well. So I'm very excited to see that. Also wanted to say thank you to our residents and all the golfers as well. Your input was very critical in helping to make this an even better proposal and something that could absolutely be accepted and endorsed by so many people in our community. And I just want to say it's a shining example of kind of our residents working with the council and also with the proposed developer on trying to find a way to come to a very rational, reasonable conclusion. And I really appreciate that. It's honestly, my hat's off to you for all the work that the residents did on this. The input that we got many times was very, it was thorough, but it was always respectful, and it was always with the idea of, we know everyone's just simply trying to do the right thing. We're trying to improve the golf course. We're trying to allow for people who've golfed for a long time to still enjoy it and bring new people to love the game of golf. And so I just really appreciate the fact that the perspectives expressed by our residents, whether they were in emails or even when I was out at community meetings or things like Arts in the Park, were always so informative and respectful. And I just want to say I really appreciate that. You're a huge reason why this got done, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. And then lastly, to our staff, to Craig Hayden and his team, I know how much work you did on this project, and I wanted to say thank you so much. And to our Deputy City Manager, Keith Burke, who really was the first person who came to me and talked about some of the concerns that residents were having in some of the golfers, but really, talked about, Corey, I think there's a way that we can get this to a place where we can have a proposal that really works for everyone. So Keith, your counsel to me was frankly invaluable during this process, and so I wanted to say thank you publicly for all of your work on this as well, and thank you for all of your guidance to me personally along the way. So thank you.
Mayor Woods, thank you very much. It's been an inspiration to us as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyone else? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? If so, please get my attention. All right. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. And I know after all of that, still, I want to reiterate the second and final public hearing on this item is scheduled for March 2nd, 2023. All right, next up here, these items are for second public hearing and final adoption. These items were read and introduced on February 2nd, 2023, and votes on these items will be taken tonight. The first item under this section is 8C1, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a lease agreement between the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Valley Incorporated and the City of Tempe for the use of space at North Tempe and West Side multi-generational centers. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on this item? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Council, any comments or discussion? Been moved by Councilmember Hodge. Do I have a second? Seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. Please vote. And that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. The next item under the section is 8C2, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 12 of the Tempe City Code by amending Articles 4 relating to stormwater retention, by amending Division 1, General Provisions, by amending its title, amending Sections 12-57, and repealing Section 12-59, amending Division 2, Administration, by amending Sections 12-71, 12-72, and 12-73, amending Division 3, Standards and Specifications, by amending Sections 12-86 and 12-87, adding a new Division 4, Compliance Monitoring, and adding a new Division 5, Enforcement. I'm convinced that people are just adding these online to have a good time with me. Yeah, let me read that again. I think, was that on? Okay. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on this item? All right, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Council, any comments or discussion? Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Garland, seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. Please vote. And that item passes 6-0 with Councilmember Keating absent. All right, here we go. The last item under this section is 8C3, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 12 of the Tempe City Code by amending Article 6 regarding stormwater pollution control, by amending Division 1 General Provisions, by repealing Section 12-116, amending Sections 12-117 and Section 12-118, adding a new Division 2 Administration, including adding a new Section 12-123 and a new Section 12-124, amending the existing Division 2 Prohibitions and Controls to reduce the discharge of pollutants in stormwater by renumbering it Division 3 and amending Sections 12-127 and 12-128, amending the existing Division 3 Compliance Monitoring by renumbering it Division 4, and amending the existing Division 4 Enforcement by renumbering it Division 5 and amending Section 12-145.
Do you have enough oxygen? There you go. Just checking.
Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on that item? Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Garland and seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. If my mom was still alive, I would tell her thank you for teaching me how to read. Please vote. And that item passes 6-0. Thank you, Mom. Next up, item number 9, current events, council announcements, and future agenda items. I'm going to call upon the council members for their comments. And first up this evening, I have Councilmember Hodge.
Thank you, Mayor Woods. You sure you don't want to read the articles again?
Maybe later.
Okay. This is starting off with Arizona Commission of African Affairs. We had a state legislative day down at the Capitol for our state African Americans. Our keynote was done by our very own Mayor Woods. I opened it up for them, so Tempe was very represented in the speech, and just want to say congratulations, Mayor Woods. And also, we also did have our very own Roy Tatum is a part of it too. So, all right. And after in that, I also did the Asian Chamber of Congress. I was actually their keynote speaker for the lunar 30th year on the celebration for the New Year. So it was a great time. I enjoyed it. It was very culturally. It was a great connection. They chose me because they wanted to build the African American and Asian community relationship, and we already have it here in Tempe. So, that's my sister right there. So we have it. So I guess that's what they asked me to do it, because we know how to do it right in Tempe. So thank you. And also, I want to send, Mayor Woods invited us all out for dinner, and we all sat at Chick Chef 77 and had dinner, and they had an accident. So someone drove a car through their window just a few nights ago. So we just want to, send out prayers and positive thoughts and a speedy reopening to the restaurant, because it's a phenomenal place to have. So, and I wanted to do another best of luck to our best, our top of our police department, Chief Glover. I can't call him Chief Glover anymore. I got to remember to say director now, but at the time when I did it, he was still our Tempe Chief of Police, and wish him all the best and well wishes. And we had the reopening of Clark Park. We were all there, and it was a phenomenal thing. Clark Park is dear to my heart because when I was at Tempe High School, that's where we swam. So that is one of the places that I remember very dear growing up. And it's beautiful. They did a great reopening. So I thank the city for all that they did, and with the reopening and all the direction it is. And I can't wait to see the pool when it's done. And I also want to thank Brandon for have us over, me and Councilmember Garland, and I think it was Andrew. You were with us too, weren't you? When we were invited to ASU. Was anybody else with us? Oh, Tom, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Tom, you're in the picture. I'm sorry, and Tom was there. I'm tired, it's getting late. But it was a great time, and we learned a lot about sustainability and had a great time. Tom, see, I can't even see you, but it was a good time. Thank you.
Tom's about to reduce your budget real
I
quick.
know.
I'm just saying how the money's going to just
I think I
disappear.
would too at this point. This has been a busy month. You got this. You got to give me some grace. And we had the People to People International. We had the Hungarian council there. It was so interesting sitting around the table with my fellow colleagues, talking to them about the situations they have when it comes to voting and what they're doing in their community, how different we are, and yet how we are the same. So I just think that, and I found out an interesting fact that one of them, their family members, actually worked on my son's congressional campaign and was excited when they met me and we took a picture together so we can send back to them. So that was pretty cool. And also, I have my Breakfast with Burdetta on Saturday, February 25th. It's considered Eye on a Prize. It's with the City of Tempe African American employees, the panel on diversity. It's very important that everybody come, because I always say it, and I'll say it over again, African American history is everyone's history. It's our history. So please show up and join. It would be nice to hear from I have a vast difference on who out on the committee, on the panel. So from our very own Deputy City Director Keith to Roy Tatum. So we have a lot of different diversity on here. So please show up. It's on Saturday the 25th from 10 a.m. to 11:30. And I think that's it. But I also want to say, I just want to say, I had a great time at the Super Bowl. That City of Tempe was represented because I was actually at the Super Bowl, and it was a great time. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's it.
All right. Next up tonight, we've got Councilmember Navarro.
I thought it was always.
Oh no, I have one more thing to say. Did I take?
Well, my trip started last year. I'm going to go through all my slides here. Indians Festival. I have to say, man, I'm so excited about this. The City of Tempe did a great job on really partnering with Indians Festival and getting just a great concert series out here for the next 2 days. Tickets are pretty much sold out. I mean, do your best in trying to find them. StubHub, you can look over there. I'm sure there'll be some out there. But great lineup: Green Day, Eddie Vedder. I'm just dying to see him. Weezer, Marcus and Mumford's, Black Crowes, Offspring. Man, there's so many lineups here. It's a tremendous day. It's going to be well supported. And please, if you can, try to attend. If not, just hang out down there and you can listen to the music. It's just so fun. Dates. Oh, dates. It's right there. Next week. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So it is Saturday, not on this thing, 25th and the 26th. Thank you. Is that on there? I can't see that. Oh, thank you. Caller, right there. Oh, there it is. There it is. In the caller, 25th and 26th. Talking next weekend, so try to get those tickets. Do we have any more slides? Is that it? Oh, look at this. Park out done. Hey, I want to say, Mayor Woods brought this up today, and I know this is not about my coffee community or coffee talk, but Meyer Park got done, and he had a great text he shared with us. I've been watching because I live in the Meyer Park, and just watching the process of this, area, the swings and all the fun stuff for the kids, slides and everything like that, just being developed, and the kids waiting for that thing to open up. And the mayor had a text of a parent and how her kid started to cry because it was open. And I thought it was just tremendous, just what we're doing and stuff. But seeing it here in the picture, I'm going to have a coffee talk at Corbett Park. Lakeshore and Elliott are the major crossroads just right down the street. We're going to have a community conversation about the developments, projects that are happening, coming up, boats that are coming up, any questions that the community might have. Love to hear everybody's opinion, like to know what's going on, and let's try to gauge this thing and have a great conversation. If you can, March 4th, Saturday at 10 a.m., it's going to be a great day on March 4th at 10 a.m. So come on out there. The weather's going to be great. Please try to bring your opinions, bring any questions you guys have, and let's have a conversation. That's it.
Sounds good.
Hold on.
Thank you so much, Councilor Brevard. Next up is Vice Mayor Adams.
All right. Well, here we go. I promise I won't take as long as Burdetta.
Throw me underneath the bus.
Wow. You guys are tied.
Right. There you go. Oh, okay, here we go. Empty bowls. Come out to the Tempe Public Library on February 25th, so that's next weekend also, and participate in Tempe Empty Bowls. It's an annual food drive fundraising event. It's free, and it features beautiful selections of handcrafted bowls for purchase, and there will also be live entertainment. It benefits the Tempe Community Action Agency, which I'm a huge fan of, and United Food Bank. And we can fill those empty stomachs with full bowls. So please plan on attending. And I'm not sure what time it starts. I'm not seeing that on here. Do we know? Oh, 10 a.m. Okay, thank you. Just wasn't on my notes. Okay, Tempe budget. Please help us shape our upcoming city budgets, parks, arts and culture, trash pickup, public safety, city streets. We want our budget to reflect what your needs are, your residents' needs are. So think about this as a priority, because what you need, if we have the money for it, then we can deliver whatever services you need. So please don't be shy about participating in the public process for Tempe budget. If you're walking past Rula Bula, the old Rula Bula, please take a look at the new window art designed and installed by our amazing city staff. It's part of our Downtown Tempe Refresh project. Not only is colorful and fun, but it offers a perfect selfie spot and has lots of information about Tempe events and fun things to do. My last announcement is I want to take a moment to thank our amazing public safety, fire, and police union presidents. And that is Rob Ferraro as the union president for the police department, and Don Youngworth, the president for the firefighters. They do so much for our community. A lot of times they're unsung heroes, but I know a lot of the behind the scenes that they do for both the council and for our community. And I just wanted to give them a shout out, because we always talk about the chiefs, which of course I'm going to really miss the chief, but we've got backup here already assigned, so we're in good shape. But we talk about the chiefs and things, but I wanted to talk about those guys. They don't get a lot of recognition, but they do a lot of good things, and they prevent a lot of problems, and they're very solution focused. So thank you to those gentlemen. Thank you. That ends my announcements.
Sounds good. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Next up, Councilmember Chin.
Vice Mayor Adams, I wanted to clarify your last announcement, that I understand that it's not Chief Ruiz who's leaving, but it's Chief Glover who's leaving.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep. I appreciate
We still
the
have
clarification.
Reese.
Yes. Yeah. Chief Reese, you're not going anywhere. I saw your wife today, and she says you're staying.
No. I know. Go to the blank slide for a second. I just wanted to start out with a serious message before I hit the other announcements that I have. I wanted to send out condolences to the Fees family. This week, our community lost Sam Fees. Sam was a former teacher, principal, and superintendent of Tempe Elementary Schools, and he's the father of my former MIAC colleague, John Fees. The family's been in Tempe for decades, and I wanted to send out condolences. Now, on a lighter note, since you will all be out on Saturday, February 25th anyway, for Innings Fest and for Empty Bowls, please come out to Kiwanis Park. And after having breakfast with Burdetta, pop over to Kiwanis Park for some family fun activities. It's Community Play Day at Kiwanis Park. That's also from 10 to 2. Also, I'd like to announce that I will be practicing my best read aloud skills on something much more interesting than agenda items. I will be reading green-themed books on Thursday, March 9th at 10 a.m. at the Tempe Public Library, and it's open to all preschool-age children. I will insert a comment there, but I won't, about colleagues that can attend with me anyway. Families with preschool-age children, it's a free event, and I would love to read aloud with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Chin. Councilmember Garland.
Thank you so much. There's so many great activities that happen at the Tempe History Museum, and I just want to highlight one of them. There's a concert coming up this Saturday, and it's from 3 to 4, and it is presented by a Tetra String Quartet. It's a fun and friendly and engaging performances tailored to children and young adults on the autism spectrum or that have similar challenges. So it's 45 minutes long after the performance. It's followed, the event right after that is what they call an instrument petting zoo, which will be really fun. So if you would like some more information, please go to the Tempe History Museum events line and get some information. It is free. The other event is at Tempe Center for the Arts. Again, I want to highlight some of the cool things that we have in the Tempe Center for the Arts. The Suffers are on February 18th, and their concert is from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. And this is a 10-piece band. They're from Houston, Texas. They bring the Gulf Coast soul, and let me say, a little hip-hop swagger, sounds of the choir, reggae, funk, rock and roll, and even a little twang. And that is going to be again on the February 18th. So you can go to Tempe Center for the Arts and get tickets at between $25 and $20. And then the last thing I want to tell you about is, I know a lot of us know about the iHelp. iHelp is celebrating its 17th anniversary on February 21st. And the iHelp it's the Interfaith Homeless Emergency Lodging Program, and they serve unsheltered individuals in Tempe, and they are seeking new sponsors. They need more churches that will be available to be able to host the people that they serve in the evenings. They offer sleeping space, evening meals, shower, laundry services, and other important services that we can help our unsheltered. They do up to 40 men and women each evening. So if you can attend, if you are around, or if you have a church that you think might be interested in being able to help, please contact the iHelp organization at Tempe Community Action Agency. Again, this is an event that's going to be going on Tuesday, February 21st from 4 to 5 at Grace Community Church, and I hope you guys can join us. It really is a spectacular program. Thank you, Mayor.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So just a couple of quick things. Couple of them were already touched on, but I want to say to Councilmember Hodge talked about Chic Chef 77, and just wanted to make an even finer point about that. They are reopening tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, and wanted to make sure to encourage people to join them. It's a small sort of place, but so make sure if you can make reservations, because they definitely are taking them. But I just want to make a note, there are a bunch of council members who were there for the grand opening the Wednesday before. And then Saturday morning at 3 a.m., so about 3 days later approximately, a drunk driver drove through their patio and then through one of their windows, which unfortunately not only did they have to close sort of for the indefinite future, we're lucky they were able to reopen so quickly, but that was right before Super Bowl weekend. And so they lost all of the revenue that they were going to get. And they had told us when we went on Wednesday, they were completely booked out with people coming in for the Super Bowl. So they lost a pile of revenue. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you very much to the Tempe PD because they quickly apprehended the suspect who was the drunk driver in that situation. So two things on that. Once, I wanted to make sure to say, please go out and support the folks at Chic Chef 77. It's a wonderful new local business. It's the first Black-owned wine bar in the state of Arizona. I think that's something else to definitely be pointed out. But also just a note, too, about drunk driving. Please, people, don't. With all of the options these days when it comes to having the ability to have someone be a designated driver or Uber, Lyft, or all the other options, please find another way to get around. These are not victimless crimes. These are things that have the effect of really hurting yourself, hurting others physically, or frankly, in this situation, fortunately, while no one was hurt, still costing a brand new business a lot of revenue and a lot of headache trying to get their business back up and running. So I'm not normally one to give public service announcements up here, but the reality is please just be mindful of that. If you're going to drink, please find someone to be a DD or find another way to get around. No one's saying don't go out and have a good time, but please do so responsibly. Second thing I wanted to say, too, is to the opening to Chefs Armando and Nadia from Cocina Chihuas. So for those of you who are very big fans of Tacos Chihuas, that's been in the greater Phoenix area for quite some time, they have exceptional food. They've just opened up their new location in the new cul-de-sac project on Apache Boulevard. They're going to be open now every Tuesday through Saturday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. I had a chance to go there last night at the invitation of some of the folks who were over at cul-de-sac, and I can tell you the food is absolutely phenomenal. One of the people that I was with said, I can guarantee you this food is going to be winning awards at some point in the very near future. So I would definitely encourage you to go out and check out their new restaurant, and so happy to have them as part of our Tempe family. So once again, that's Cocina Chihuas over at the cul-de-sac development on Apache Boulevard, Tuesday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And the last thing I was going to say, too, is just a very fond farewell to Chief Glover, who is now the director of the Arizona Department of Public Safety. There was a great celebration for him over at the Tempe Center for the Arts this past Monday, and just really want to congratulate him on taking this next step in his professional career. He's an exceptional person and so deserved the opportunity to be able to serve at a very high level. And so I just want to tell Governor Hobbs, if she's watching, you made the right choice by picking Chief Glover. While it might be the city of Tempe's loss, it is certainly the state of Arizona's gain. And as much as we have given her a hard time about this, I want to thank Councilmember Hodge, who was on Governor Hobbs's transition team, who I know was the first person who put Chief Glover's name forward to be considered for this role. We give her a hard time that we're all mad at her because he's no longer here, but honestly, she knows talent when she sees it. And so I just wanted to say thank you for putting his name in the hat for that opportunity. I know he's going to do an exceptional job. And just wanted to say also congratulations to our new interim chief, Josie Montenegro. She is a longtime veteran of the Tempe Police Department and has served in various capacities here at the city of Tempe, and just wanted to say congratulations on this new role. We also know you're going to do an exceptional job, and so congratulations. With that, I will close that portion of the agenda and move on to public appearances. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the council? And if so, please come forward and state your name and place of residence for the record. All right, seeing none, that brings us to item number 11, which is adjournment. The next meeting will take place on March 2nd, 2023, and we are adjourned at 8:10 p.m. Thank you so much.